Vietnam Crypto Insights, and we're back, man. I had to take a trip to Mui Ne. I think I'm saying that right, man. Yeah, things have been kind of busy this week. I've got a lot of things, taking a couple projects that a couple people have kind of approached me about, taking them under consideration for me to work with, and so that's what's been happening. A lot of big things have been happening. Happy New Year, everybody. It is the new year, 2025. 2024 was a momentous year as far as crypto. One of the first times, I think it was the only time, that Bitcoin hit numerous all-time highs before the year was out after the halving. It's kind of amazing. You know, a lot of that was sparked by the ETFs, spot ETFs that launched, numerous ones across the world, but the biggest one was, of course, the IBIT in the US. That has actually grown to BlackRock's fastest growing ETF ever. Nobody foresaw that coming. It led to all-time high months before the halving of about 70 plus thousand Bitcoin price earlier in 2024. And then later in the year, numerous all-time highs after that. Not only in November, but here in December. So we actually hit 107,000, I think was the peak, because of the all of the buy-ins from not only the Ethereum ETFs, but MicroStrategy as well. So a lot of big things that happened this year. Some of the other stuff big happened, I should say last year, rather, 2024. Some of the other big things that happened was Polymarket. That actually became a huge platform for people to speculate on and bet on various things. I think one of the big things that they bet on was the election in the US. I think they sparked hundreds of millions of open interest on just across a number of subjects. There's also been one of the other big things that happened this year was DeFi was back, especially for Solana. Solana, with their Radium platform for DeFi and swaps, that actually took off. There's just been a lot of things happening with Solana, man. Solana is actually, they're well positioned for growth. But I wanted to harp on, one of the big things that I want to harp on for 2025, what's the top 10 cryptos for the year, which I foresee this is going to be a momentous bull cycle year. Of course, after the halving, which occurs about every 4 years, for the next 18 months approximately, it really just skyrockets. And as I said a couple weeks ago, we are entering the banana zone, and this is actually the banana zone we're in right now. It might not seem like it because Bitcoin and a lot of the altcoins fell off from their all-time highs. Well, Bitcoin fell off from an all-time high. It dropped down about 93.5, which I think it was earlier today, 93,500, from going up to 107,000 a few weeks ago. But you know, a lot of that is due to the kind of scaled back forecast of the Fed in the U.S. And then the fear is that there's not going to be enough monetary supply to actually spur this growth and fuel this bull cycle even further, which if you've been in crypto for a while, you understand how the monetary supply situation actually helps boost prices, because people actually speculate. Companies, institutions speculate with their newfound liquidity. So yeah, I'm gonna pan out here. We're on the beach over here at Mui Ne. But one of the things I wanted to say is that the monetary supply is that what they're doing is that they've scaled back the level of rate cuts that they're going to do for the coming year. And I think that was what led up to initially the all-time highs the past couple of weeks. That and the supply shock. There's a lot of Bitcoin ETF buy-ins, and you know, the ETFs, you know, the spot ETF for Bitcoin, the people that buy that, or institutions that buy that, once they do that, the fund has to go and buy I think within 24 hours in the US anyway, the equivalent amount of Bitcoin. And what that does is it creates a supply shock, which is why you've seen all-time high after all-time high on Bitcoin this year. But we still have estimates speaking about 12 months on this bull cycle, provided the Fed doesn't really scale it back its rate cuts too far. But I've been listening to a lot of different analysts. I'm not a monetary expert, monetary supply expert, or economic expert, so I listen to the experts. A lot of the experts are saying that, even though the Fed has kind of dampened its initial projections on the rate cuts, they're pretty much boxed into a corner, because what can they do to save the economy of the West? I mean, what did the EU and the Fed and the US, what can they do? I think the initial spook, which caused the Fed this past couple weeks to change its aggressive rate cut plan, was that Trump has been sounding the alarm and of talking about putting import tariffs on numerous countries. And of course, most of the economists say that that's not good for any economy. When you have tariffs across the board on numerous products and, from numerous countries, it's going to stifle growth. And so that's what actually led to the Fed chairman in the US say, well, hold on, we got to wait and see what's going to happen later on this year, because we're not going to know whether we're going to be able to do these rate cuts that they were planning on doing throughout this year. So we'll see. We've got a lot of different things that could happen in 2025, but I'm bullish still, even though the Trump tariff thing has scared a lot of people off. If the monetary supply dries up, of course, crypto might go sideways and might not go up as high as we all think it's going to go. But most of the analysts have actually scaled up their estimates for what they're going to, what they project Bitcoin is going to hit. I was actually looking at an analyst earlier today that said that they've actually changed their estimate and said that Bitcoin is going to hit 185,000 this year. Of course, I'm still solid in my belief that we're going to hit at least 245,000. I've said that earlier this year. I don't see how it's going to go any further down, because, the last cycle, we went over 3 times the previous high, and that was without the Bitcoin ETFs. And if we do 3 times the previous high, this time, that's going to be at least 210,000. But, with the ETFs, I think that's going to actually drive it up a little bit. So my conservative estimates is about 245,000 for the top for this cycle within the next 12 months. So 2025, look at that for that to really hit. And my predictions this year, I'm going to give you my top 10. Top 10, I'm going to put at number 10. Of course, I'm going to put the granddaddy at number 10, even though I think it might go higher than a lot of the other coins that I'm going to say, but I'm just going to give you some of my best predictions. Number 10, I'm going to say Bitcoin. Bitcoin, 245,000. And these are just out of what I think the top 10 is going to be as far as return for the year, the highest return of the year. So I'm going to go with the safe one for number 10, Bitcoin. That's we're at about 93,500 right now, 93,500 that is. So I think we're going to get a 2.5x easily on Bitcoin. That's my prediction. So, but number 9, and these are all safe predictions. I'm not going to do the 100x and 200x. But number 9, I'm going to go with Avalanche. Avalanche is a layer 2 on Ethereum. They just got a huge influx of 250 million to actually finance for their builders and various projects on their chain. And as I've come to realize here, being in Vietnam for close to 2.5 years, the builder community is what's important. There's a lot of guys that talk about what the charts say, what the on-chain metrics say, but you're not going to get any chart movement. You're not going to get on-chain metrics without the builder community. And Avalanche is here in Vietnam. They have a little bit of a builder community. I'm not going to say it's huge, but they do have games that they're launching. They have a number of projects that they're launching. I mean, it's to me, I think that Avalanche is well positioned for a good 3 to 4x run easily. And I think that that's doable. Number 8, I'm gonna have to go with Sui. Sui has been on fire, man. They've actually opened up a big office here in Vietnam. They got a developer community that they're teaching and training. They got a build to learn program, and they're trying to seek out the best devs, man, to get the best dApps. If you have all the dApps, you're gonna have the on-chain metrics, and on-chain activity is what spurs excitement. And you know, when you see all that on-chain activity and you've got usage of your chain, you've got community building, you've got apps, you got people using your token, that spurs up the price action. And I'm going to say that Sui is well positioned for another token that's positioned for another 3 to 4x. One of the other big things that I've actually said before, and I've talked about this before, is their gaming. They've got their console. Now it remains to be seen whether their gaming console is going to be hot, but I have a couple people that I'm going to interview on that in a couple weeks and see what they say. I've got a couple guys I know. There are a lot of gamers here in Vietnam, so I'm gonna bring that to you guys, and we're gonna get the insights on the game console and see if Sui's game console is going to generate even more buzz for them. So we're going to see, man. Number 7, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to have to go with the safe one. Again, one of the safe ones. I mean, if you've been in crypto, you know that nothing's safe. But number 7, I'm going to have to say Ethereum, man. And I've talked about why on a video a couple weeks ago, and I put the link in on the top of the video so that you can see why I feel that Ethereum is going to be so hot. I think we're positioned for 4 to 5x on Ethereum at this point. We're at 3,300 right now for the price. We haven't hit the all-time high just yet, but the inflows for the ETFs have spiked up in the past month and a half. And when that happened with Bitcoin earlier last year and later in the year, when that Bitcoin activity on the ETF spiked up, the price hit all-time highs. So look for Ethereum, hit all-time high and hit a 5x, 4 or 5x this year. Another one that I've actually just talked about the past couple weeks, I'm going to say is XRP, man. XRP, number 6 for XRP. XRP is well positioned for 4 or 5 or X. The reason why is because they have spiked up a lot of interest. They're at the tail end, I believe, of their legal problem and drama in the US with the SEC. They've got one last appeal the SEC has filed, but XRP went around them and actually got their stablecoin approved. They got a ETF. So I foresee a 4 to 5x with XRP, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. Number 5, I'm going to have to go with Movement Labs. Movement Labs, I've talked about that a couple weeks ago. They've got a strong builder community here. They've got a lot of youth involved. And you know, youth is important, man, because this is a new technology. The youth drive technology, you know, and I can't emphasize that enough. We can't have the rigidity of older folks thinking clouding up the development, you know. One of the biggest stories in the space the past decade has been Ethereum. And guess what? Ethereum's founder at the time was super young. He's still relatively young. He's younger than me. But, you know, at a very young age, he took interest in Bitcoin. He went to Bitcoin. I'm talking about Vitalik. He went to Bitcoin. He said, I can help you guys, do some more development and increase the viability of this product or this token that you have, and bring more use cases for it. They rejected him, but he was so young and enterprising and motivated. These are the kind of things that you have when you're young. You've got all this exuberance. So with that, he sprouted out Ethereum. Ethereum is still the #1 token. Yeah, but Ethereum had to move because I was getting photobombed. But yeah, Ethereum I think is really the reason why it has a #1 in dApps was because of the ingenuity of Vitalik, largely, and his team. Of course, he's the driving force behind it. They've got the most dApps. They've got the most use cases. They've got layer 1, layer 2, layer 3s even. And one of the biggest stories has been Ethereum for the past decade. So that's the reason why I think Movement Labs is following its footsteps with the youthful exuberance, the ingenuity. And one of the things that I like about it is that they also have, since it's a layer 2 on Ethereum, Movement Labs is that they also taken into account the interoperability. Interoperability is huge. That's actually been the biggest buzzword for the year last year in 2024, as far as the technological advancements. And they use Celestia to do that, to get that, to effectuate the interoperability. I'm not a techie, so I can't talk the lingo 100%. So one of the other big things, #4 on my list, is Arbitrum. They're another layer 2. I think they'll get a 4 or 5x minimum. They've got the biggest growth of any chain last year. I mean, they had so many layer 2s and layer 3s roll out on Arbitrum last year. I mean, they had monumental growth. There were companies, institutions that were actually utilizing Arbitrum in their chain and in their workflows. I mean, they spiked up usage tremendously. So I foresee at least a 4 to 5x with Arbitrum. #3 is the biggest story of 2024 as far as tokens. Solana, man. Solana knows what they're doing. They build the best communities. They got the super teams all over the world. I know the super team over here in Vietnam. They kick butt, they take names, they're very decentralized. The way that they do their communities, man, is top notch, man. They decentralize all of the community building aspects. They give a lot of autonomy, which is what crypto is all about, decentralization, man. They have the concept of crypto down to a T. It's not centralization, it's not a top-down approach. They know what they're doing, man. They give the people, the talented people across the world, the opportunity to build their communities, the opportunity to create, to help spur building on the chains. They know what they're doing, man. They're actually, to me, the reason why Solana is so top-notch, in my mind, is because they, not because they're the fastest chain. You got a chain coming out every month talking about they're going to be the next fastest chain, or they are the fastest chain. I mean, I think Aptos has made that claim this year. It's every month somebody's coming out. It's the community, it's the devs. You don't get the on-chain metrics. You don't get the demand for your token unless you have a community, a builder community especially. So that's #3, man, Solana. 5x minimum this year, especially off of this recent dip that we've had. #2, I'm gonna say this, man. I really don't like the person that's promoting this coin, Elon Musk. I'm not an Elon Musk fan. I don't do the fanboy stuff. It's not my thing, but Elon Musk knows how to generate excitement. He is supposedly the richest man in the world. I don't buy it. I think Putin is the richest man in the world, but I'll digress. I'm not going to go into the details on that. That's for another show. But Elon generates a lot of excitement, and if he gets he gets back into the good graces with the MAGA crowd in America after this week with his H-1 visa flop, where he was talking pro-immigrant stuff, which a lot of people in America have voted Trump in because he was supposedly against immigration. So we'll see how the politics in that plays out. But you know, with his Department of Government Efficiency, all this crap that he's doing, he's generating a lot of excitement for Doge. Plus, there's talk of Doge getting the ETF. That, in my opinion, is going to spur the rapid growth. That, in my opinion, is going to spur the rapid growth of Dogecoin and it's going to increase activity and excitement even more. Meme coins don't have any utility, but they are one of the biggest stories of 2024, and especially with Pump Fund and all of these different meme coin platforms, they have generated the most excitement. They're usually the quickest on ramp to crypto. A lot of people, especially with this financial nihilism that's been going on, where people don't believe in their institutions, the financial institutions especially, they gravitate toward meme coins. They don't really buy the narrative of Bitcoin necessarily, but they always get on board. A lot of new people get on board with these memes, man. They love the meme. They love to play the memes. They want to get a 100x or 500x or whatever they think that they can do. So that's why the meme coins generate a lot of excitement, and I think that is going to play. It's going to continue. Something that's going to continue into 2025. It's not going to go away because allows people to speculate. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to get into crypto for. They want to make a quick mint. They hear these stories of people going from rags to riches, and they want to get involved. And they don't think that they have the upside with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other top coins. So what they do is they just go into the memes. But Doge still having the excitement that it does have, I think it's going to be number 2 or 5x this year. And I got to sit down and say this. I've had to relocate a couple times because I keep getting photobombed over here. There's a lot of activity over at Mui Ne, man. I didn't know it was so busy in the morning. But yeah, 2025, a lot of people over here, man, for the new year. So number 1 token for the year, man. And I have to do a disclaimer. I do hold Shiba, but Shiba Inu, man, I don't think it's going anywhere, man, especially with the Shibarium coming out sometime soon, we hope. And there's talk of a Shiba Inu ETF as well. So those 2 things, man, I think it's going to spur the activity. And right now, it's actually, Shiba has went down tremendously from its recent high. It went up to like 0.00034 a couple weeks ago, but it's back down to, it went down to 2.1. And I think that we're going to see from here, we're going to see tremendous upside, especially if the ETF hits, especially if the Shibarium hits, that metaverse that they're supposed to be adding utility to the token, and especially if they add another token to the whole Shiba ecosystem, because they've got Bone. They've got all of these things going on with their Shiba Inu ecosystem, and they still have the Shiba NFTs, which I'm still holding one of those. So hopefully we'll get all this user activity going back up with Shiba. I think that the burn rate has went up. That's something that they've implemented since last cycle, and as we all know, Shiba was the biggest story last cycle because it went up at one point. It was up 50,000%, one of the biggest investments ever. It overtook Dogecoin, and I think it's going to overtake, at least briefly, I think it's going to overtake Dogecoin this cycle, especially with those other things I named. So predicting a 6x for Shiba, and out of the top 50 coins, those are my top 10 picks for 2025. I'm not doing the 1000x or the 500x predictions. Those are too far-fetched, and I don't think that anybody's going to be able to get those correct. And I don't want to give anybody financial advice. And I definitely would like to at least share my thoughts on stuff that's safe. because I don't think that we should go out on a limb too far. You know, crypto's already considered a risky asset. So, but you know, the more you know, the less risky it is. And with that, everybody, that's 2025. Everybody, Happy New Year. Hope you have a safe, prosperous year, and do your own research always, and keep your nose to the grindstone with this crypto, because it's a constant battle to stay informed, to make sure that you are holding the right bags and making profits. So with that, I'm gonna say coffee and crypto. I'll see you guys next week, and apologize for having to move numerous times. It's just Mui Ne is busy, man. Mui Ne is busy, especially over here at the Mandela, man. It's really happening for the new year. And everybody, Happy New Year again, and over and out. I'll see you next week.